How you guys doing? Eric here. Today's Tuesday, August 8th, 2017. Fucking camera just shut itself off. That's weird. Anyways, yeah, nowadays, you're not even allowed to get upset and without it being called a crime. You can't even fucking tell the truth, speak your mind without someone calling the cops and saying you're harassing them, and the whole fucking system just fucking, they just want to criminalize you. They don't even give a shit what happened. All they know is they got charges against you. They're gonna make them stick. So yeah, I got in trouble, and then I finally got sentenced, and it was January 28th of 2015, and I ended up getting a year's probation. So yeah, so I had to go and see my probation officer. I think it was like early in March or late February, and that's when I got sentenced to my 20 week. Or the damn probation officer is the one that told me I had to go to 20 weeks of anger management. So yeah, 20 weeks of anger management. And what was that all about, man? That was one of the roughest things I ever went through, man. It was just 2 years ago. The end of July was when I finished it, 2015. So yeah, 20 weeks. I went March, April, May, June, July, 5 months. And I had to go once a week. And it was like 50 miles from my house I had to drive to get to this place. And so it was like a 100-mile round trip. I was working in Boulder at the time, but the anger management class was all the way in freaking south of Denver, man. So it was a fucking hell of a... I was like, they don't have no anger management in Boulder. I guess there's nobody gets pissed off in Boulder, so they don't have anger management classes there. So I had to go all the way to fucking Littleton. But anyways, yeah. So yeah, man, what was it like? It was mostly just, a group of people, and then, it was like a revolving door. People would come in, people would go out. Just basically like a group therapy session. I'll sit around and talk about our stories and what we did and how we got to where we were. Blah, 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 blah. And, most of the people in there were just, really mostly domestic violence, One guy was in there voluntarily because he didn't want to have domestic violence. He didn't want to get in any more trouble. But this guy, man, he was something. He had been in prison for like 12 years, so he had an interesting story. Man, that guy he was like the leader of the group, man. And he always had some interesting stuff to talk about. But yeah, it was hell, man. 20 weeks of that. And really what I learned was nothing. What I learned was I don't ever want to fucking go through this again. But really about managing anger, no, all it did was piss me off even worse. I don't think it did anything to help me with my anger. Maybe I learned that, I don't know, I didn't even really need it in the first place, man. I'm not an angry person, but that's just, anybody, if you piss them off enough, they're gonna fucking attack, they're gonna come back at you, and that's what happened to me. But I think the toughest part about it is, you had to be cool. You had to, play along with the program. Otherwise, they would, fail you, kick you out of the class, and that would like violate your probation, which could be, grounds to totally violate your probation and make you go to jail for your sentence. That's how they fucking hold it over your head and make you comply with their little thing, their little program to hopefully try to brainwash you so you believe that you're a bad person. Yeah, and another big part of the racket was you had to pay $30 for every class. So it's just another way of sucking money out of you for the crime that you didn't commit, that they railroaded you into the courts with bullshit charges. This is what goes on in America, man. So many people get charged with shit that is really not a crime. Just for getting mad at somebody, they're criminalizing human emotion. Oh, You hurt his feelings. He was scared for his life. Bullshit. I never threatened him once with physical violence. All I was doing was yelling at him, telling him that he had to get the fuck out of my house. And he called the cops, and I was drunk. And I let the cops have it when they got there, man. Because I really felt like I was in the right. But man, those cops, man, they don't fuck around, man. What they do is they put you into a situation. They sat me down. They said, "You stay right there." And then they go in there. They're ramping, rummaging all through my house, going through every room, looking through, searching through shit. And finally I said, "What the fuck are you guys?" And then they're sitting in the hallway, whispering to each other. I'm like whispering. There's like 3 cops in my house, and they're all whispering to each other. And I said, "What the fuck are you guys whispering, man? Why can't you just be out in the open? You're trying to conspire, figure out how they can get me to criminate myself, basically." And then, so they told me to sit down on this chair, and I stood up once, and then there was one cop just standing there watching me. And she sit back down, and then, I wasn't really capable, and I got mad at, I kept watching what was going on. I stood up again, and that's when he said, "All right, that's it. I told you to stay there. Now you're good. Now you're under arrest for obstructing a peace officer." Just because I stood up from the chair that he told me to sit in. That shit. I guess I was not obeying a lawful order of a fucking peace officer. There ain't nothing peace officers about those guys, man. They always show up after the fact to punish the perpetrator if they can. And that's it. They don't ever protect the victims. The victims get victimized no matter what. But no, they're here to serve and protect. But the worst part of it was, before you were allowed to graduate, your last week in there, you had to tell your life story, kind of, about, what happened to you in your life and what might have led up to your current situation. And I wasn't looking forward to that at all, man. That kind of stressed me. I didn't want to do it, but I kind of just made a story up, because I didn't want all these perfect strangers to really know what was going on, to really know my true life story. But so I kind of made up a bullshit story, and man, it was great. I had them riveted. Man, they bought it. They really thought I was telling them, spilling my guts. And so anyways, yeah, that was my experience with the fucking bullshit anger management program. Was it just a racket to make more money, to fucking brainwash you into believing that you're a bad person, and just make your life even more miserable while you're on probation. So yeah, thanks for watching. We'll talk to you guys soon. So I was thinking about changing my name from Eric Farmer to Funky Walker Dirty Taka. What do you guys think? So yeah, so I had to go see my probation officer. I think it was like early in March or late February, and that's when I got sentenced to my 20 weeks. Or the damn probation officer is the one that told me I had to go to 20 weeks of anger management.